Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar, and here's a brand new halacha for you, and it is for Tuesday, the 7th day, whoops, sorry, that's the 8th day, Tuesday the 8th day of October. Here we go. Today's halacha is, well, let's take this scenario where it would most likely happen to you. You get invited to a wedding, and they're serving at the smorgasbord at the beginning of the wedding a whole bunch of different foods, and they're all delicious. So you just dive in and start eating, and you make a bracha on everything you eat. And if you could tell where I'm going, you end up in a nightmare of brachos because you haven't been thinking, and you've been putting foods in your face. And here's some things to consider. First of all, you have to be very careful to not make a bracha where it's not needed. A bracha she'ena tzricha. That's saying God's name in vain. So if you, for example, see some delicious carving station where they're serving meat, and you run over there and you make a bracha of shahakol Dvar and you eat the meat, and then you run over to the drink station and have a delicious drink and you make a shahakol Dvar right there, boom. That's a mistake right there. You should not be making the bracha of shahakol Dvar twice, unless you're going to say to me, well, when I ate the meat, I didn't know I was going to need a drink afterwards, so I had to make the bracha of shakal nibidvaro again. So in short, today's halacha, and what I'm trying to say to you in today's halacha is, think before you eat. That's the halacha right there. Think before you eat. You have to have a plan. If you just kind of run around grabbing foods and making brachas on them and eating them, then your plan, that's not how a good, proper Jew eats. He thinks, and he says, okay, here's a knish. The bracha on that is borei mine mazonos. I probably also going to have some of those crackers over there with some spread on it. So let me just think right now and say I'm making the bracha of borei mine mazonos, and it's for the knish and the crackers and the one or two other things that might come up in this smorgasbord that's going to be mazonos. Or I'm going to make a shahakal now on this, and that's going to cover for the next few shahakals that I'm going to have. So at least you're only making the bracha of borei mine mazonos once, as is proper. You're only making the bracha of shakol niyabidvaro once, as is proper. And believe it or not, this is still not the prime situation. The best situation would be is if you could find some good, solid amount of bread, sit down, make hamotzi. It's always more proper to eat in one place anyway, halachically. So you sit down with a piece of bread, you wash your hands til sedayim, you make the bracha hamotzi lechem min haaretz. You plan for this to be all of the eating that you're going to do. You go take the few foods that you want to eat. You take them to a table where you had your bread. You sit there and you basically have a meal, as a proper situation is. And then you bench after the meal, and that's more proper. Because this business of just running around grabbing foods and making brachas can lead to trouble. You could have things in the wrong order, brachas made on the wrong things, brachas made twice when not necessary, brachas forgotten where necessary. So, but in short, always think before you eat. Plan out halachically what you're going to have so that the brachas for that situation will be most appropriate. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.